Oh. Oh, my book. She's making so many sounds. Hello. This is Jenny Fern. Welcome to my library. We're actually on my bed. I have a day off. I haven't had a day off in a while, and I kind of want to live out my best life. Kind of want to do what I would do if I didn't have to make money. What I've done so far, I woke up at around 7. I fed the animals, and then I took Clove out. I read in bed. I've been reading The Great Good Thing, which is a children's book that I never finished when I was a kid. I read that until about 8:45, and then I just took a quick shower. And now we have decisions to make. So I always want to do way too many things when I have like a handful of days off. This weekend, the main thing I wanted to do was like chill, clean a little bit. So I cleaned all of the floors on Saturday. I did a handful of dishes, took like the trash out, that kind of thing. So that's done. Today it's supposed to be really cool. I started yesterday on a crocheted bag with bread tags, and that doesn't make a lot of sense, so I'll show you what that is. I think I'm gonna make breakfast first. Let's go do that. Oh my god, she's so cute. I love her so much. We're in my kitchen, which is a little bit messy, so here's the cute part of it. And another cute part as my water microwaves. So I use this instant coffee because I used to make drip coffee and then it was just way too much and I would drink it all. So I am going to go out and grab some vegetables from the garden so that I can make my breakfast. I've been listening to Pilgrim at Tinker Creek while harvesting some stuff. Some of those I don't think I'm gonna use for breakfast because I remembered that I have watermelon. So I'm gonna make a little watermelon salad with mint, basil, and feta. I think I'm gonna use this fennel in the salad. All right, so here's my breakfast. I have my cup of coffee and I have watermelon with feta, with mint and basil and fennel and parsley, a lot of herbs, and a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette. You are in the gentle care of Louie, this little guy, because he's on the same platform as you. So hopefully nothing goes wrong there. I wanted to talk now that I've had my breakfast. Don't you dare try to drink my coffee. So this is the bag that I've been working on. I called it my bread tag bag. It's using a bunch of bread tags that I saved up over quite a long time, actually. I haven't filmed any of the making of it. I'm like of two minds sometimes because my other YouTube channel had a video that did much better than all of the others, and it was a short showing my incomplete projects. And that's like a lot of knitting and crochet stuff, and I got like an influx of subscribers from that, but I haven't really been posting anything over there, and it's really supposed to be about permaculture. So I was thinking, oh, I could film a short showing how I made this bag, and now I'm thinking, okay, maybe the next round of bread tags I can show like how I attach them, because I feel like that's like the key element here. I'm just so conflicted because I don't want like filming to make me not do the thing. And yesterday I really only had energy to do the thing. We had been watching Akira, and then my husband was like, I gotta take a nap, which I understand because it was Sunday and he had to go to work today. I still wanted to crochet, so I decided to listen to a book. And I just got a bunch of books that I had put on hold, or I'd been on the holds list for my library, and they all came in at once, which is, I feel like is what always happens, and it always makes me really anxious. I ended up reading the book Lemon, which I don't know how this got on my list. I started adding a bunch of books to this list, felt uninspired by what I had, and I just wanted to read some cool stuff. I went through screenshots that I'd taken back when I was trying to do Bookstagram. Saved a ton of pictures from that. I think Lemon was one of those pictures. Funnily enough, so was The Illustrated Man, which I finished reading probably earlier this weekend. I would love to read that physically. I read it as an audiobook, which was really confusing to me. Stories just blended into each other in a really weird way, which I don't think would happen if it was like if I could see the text. But Lemon, I also read as an audiobook. It was only 3 hours long, which meant I read it in like an hour and a half. It was pretty cool. It was not something that I would normally read because it was about a murder, which I'm usually not into at all. But it was explored in a really interesting way, and it had stuff to say about like life and like the point of living. I have thought similarly, like, what is the point of life if you live a short life that ends tragically? I think I've read a handful of like extremely short books this year. I think I could do a whole video on recommendations for like really short books if people are interested. I'm either gonna like listen to a video or I'll listen to Pilgrim at Tinker Creek, which I've been listening to. Sorry, my camera cut me off. Oh yeah, Pilgrim at Tinker Creek. I was kind of confused at the beginning. She was talking about stuff that I was like, maybe this is a science fiction. Because again, I had no context for what this thing was. I think it's essays or like journals of a real woman. That's the vibe that I'm getting at this point. It's giving a bit of braiding sweetgrass kind of vibe. So I'm gonna call it quits on chatting with you guys for now. Oh, Louie. With his, look at his toes. Aren't they perfect? Here is how the bread tag bag is coming along. I've used up all of the bread tags. So the last row I had to space them out pretty far apart. And then I'm going to start decreasing somehow to make the bottom close up. And then I'm going to make a drawstring for the top, I think. Maybe? It depends. Maybe I won't even do a drawstring, I'll just do straps. So this is kind of shaping up. It's a little, what is it? It's like 1050. So I'm going to take our little darling doggy on a walk so that she can get some energy out. And then it's almost time for lunch. This day is really scooting by. So I'll listen to some sort of book while I'm on my walk. So we just came back from our walk, and I ended up taking this. It was overhanging into a public park, so I feel like it's okay. Also, it's not like I'm really hurting anything. So I'm gonna put this into some soil and see if it'll take. And I'm gonna do some gardening. I have all of these really weird camera angles because I don't have my tripod set up. So I'm just setting you on things. Anyway, I'm going to do some gardening because I really want to write a short story. It's been bopping around in my brain for months now. And I just need to reacquaint myself with what I've already brainstormed. And then I go out into the garden. I'm going to think about it while I'm gardening. And then I'm going to sit down to write when I get back in. That's the plan. So I have reacquainted myself with the plot line, the idea of this story. It's a medieval bicycle race with like high stakes and adventure, and there's some backstory stuff too. I think this will be a longer short story because there's kind of a lot going on. And it's like weirdly kind of like child-y. It's kind of like a children's book. So I have to think about how I'm going to structure what it's really going to be like, who it's for, kind of. It's just fun. It's a fun story, and I'm excited about it. I did that. That was insane. Okay, now I gotta get this in some water. Alright, I'm back inside. I picked some grapes. I also trimmed down a lot of dead stuff. I'm trying to get the seeds back onto the soil now that we're heading into fall, so that stuff can start growing again in the winter. Stuff like calendula and radishes. Anyway, for an example of something that I'm able to brainstorm when I think about the story for a little bit, and then I go out into the world and I start doing things while I'm trying to keep the story in my mind, I was thinking my main character is working as basically like a getaway bicyclist for a group of brigands. Again, it's a weird mishmash of like, what if there were bicycles in like medieval fantasy? So I'm not like into bicycles. I just did a random word generator and it was like bicycle and something else. So it's pretty critical for the story. Yeah, so he is living outside of the castle walls with a group of brigands. And so he doesn't have the same access to materials as other people. So I'm thinking at the beginning of this bicycle race, he's going to be looking at his bike and comparing it to other people. And he's basically stolen the getaway bike from this group of ill repute, so that he can compete in this race. So he's also kind of nervous about that. So he's looking at his hands gripping these handles or handlebars, and so his are going to be made out of like bark and bone. This is what I'm thinking. Whereas the other people are going to have like craft person made handles with like leather or like carved wood, stuff like that. This is exciting. I'm excited. I'm going to read what I wrote so far. His white knuckles gripped onto the familiar handlebars. They were moss and sap covered bone. The other racers had leather or wood. Those who were poor bore simple and unadorned bikes, and the wealthy, who would largely drop out in the first sector, had ornately carved frames, inlaid with mother of pearl and gilded so that no wood showed. They were arranged in front of the grand magnolia tree that shaded the courtyard. Its pure white flowers scented the cobblestone courtyard with the smell of victory, champagne, and was where the winner would glide in to finish, gaining the position and responsibility of castle champion. It's a little clunky. I should work on that. But this is my first pass of the story in general, so it's going to be clunky. When Edvin heard the woman in the carriage mention offhand that the current champion had stepped down and that another race would be held, he nearly gave away their hiding spot. A moment later, at a bend in the road, the carriage was besieged by his crew. Not that he was a leader by any means, but he was associated. The bag of coins was tossed to him, and he jumped from the boulder and alighted his hidden bicycle into the woods, where there would be no chance of retrieval. I don't know if some of this is a little bit clunky, but we'll just go with it for now. Edvin returned to camp that evening, and the leader divvied up the spoils from the bag. He'd considered it that day, leaving with the coins and the bike, begging for forgiveness at the castle walls. But he was a brigand. He'd messed up his life so totally that they wouldn't let him back as he was. He would need to prove himself in the Wheelborn tournament as the castle champion. They would have to take him back. A thrush called from the magnolia and brought him back to the courtyard. All around the courtyard were statues, big and small, of the knights who had died while on duty. When the statue of his mother was placed, his father, grim-faced in his knight's regalia, put his hand on Edvin's shoulder. Edvin wasn't sure until that moment that they would really honor her like all the others. She hadn't died valiantly, fighting in battle. She just dropped one day as she stood guard and died. Her statue wasn't large. I'm so dark now that Clove's gone from the frame. Her statue wasn't large, but it captured her likeness and had been given the same care as the others. When Edvin was positioning himself along the starting line, he caught a glimpse of her from across the courtyard. Yellow flowers were placed at her feet. And that's where I'm at right now. Then the race is going to start, and like the actual plot line is going to, you know, go. So, but you get a little bit of an idea of like who he is, what's going on, and that is what I've done so far. It is now 10 minutes to 1, so I'm gonna actually eat lunch now. And I think I might watch some TV, but I really don't know what I want to watch. I could do anything because I'm, you know, alone. I can do whatever I want. I've just been watching the Depp v. Heard trash on Netflix because I can do that. Anyway, I have this bag now to this point. The bottom is closed. We figured out how to do that, and now I'm working on a handle. And I have to take my little dog out right now because she really wants to go out. There she is. there she is. Also, I had to take my books in because it was like maybe gonna rain today, and nobody's taking my books. Like, they're out, but like underneath the little free library. Nobody wants them. Finished the bread tag bag. This is what it looks like. It's pretty cute. It's very slouchy, but this is the guy. This is what it looks like. And I guess I should put some stuff in it, but yeah, it's pretty big. It would allow for kind of a lot of stuff. Hello. I'm trying to block out my fridge so that you don't see all of my family. All of my family members who send me things that I put on the fridge. So, hello, I'm gonna make dinner now. It's nearing like the end of the work day, so I'm gonna make dinner so that my husband can come home, and because he didn't have a day off, he can at least get food. So I'm gonna try to contribute in that way. So I'm going to make red lentil soup, dal soup. I'm gonna use some garam masala and some vegetable broth and a bunch of green onions. So here's the soup. Also, it looks like Clover's not pain meds. What are these? These are not adult medications. These are animal medications. I don't even know. Maybe panic pills or something. Anyway. Sorry, I got distracted. Here's soup. Here's the soup. I just added in all of the green onions at the end. Those are from stored green onions from my garden. They were in the freezer. So, you know, gotta get something from the garden. Ooh, I'm kind of burning my hand. Alright. So this is it. It's pretty good. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of whispering just because my husband is sleeping over there, and I just got up from finishing this book, The Great Good Thing by Roderick Townley. I started reading this book when I was a little kid, and I thought it was so cool because it's like about a princess who like is living in a book, and the book is like come to life. Like, you know, the act of reading the book and like all of the characters are alive. And then it transitions into being about like being held in the memories of children who then become adults and they die, and like what it's like to be a memory. And I had a lot of feelings about it. It just seemed kind of sad. Anyway, I did end up giving it 5 stars. I kind of want to think about it a little bit and see if that changes. But for now, I thought it was really, really beautiful. Also, I did take a nap. I was kind of thinking of maybe trying to edit a video or something. I'm not sure because I do have maybe an hour or an hour and a half before like it's actual bedtime. So I think I'm gonna make myself a cup of hot cocoa because it's, what is it? It's 67 degrees and it's been cloudy all day. compared to like 100 degrees or whatever that it was on Friday. So I think I'm gonna do that. Either I'll work on my story about the bicycle race or I'll work on my video editing, which is probably what I should do, but I kind of don't really want to do, but we'll see if I get stuck into it. I'll probably actually enjoy it. Hello! This is the following day. I wanted to give a little wrap up, closing statement for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is kind of a little vlog style. Let me know if you're interested in seeing more of this type of video, and I'll try to accommodate. I don't have a ton of opportunities to have a day where I do like whatever I want and get to read for most of the day. I sure would like to have more days like that in the future. It was such a wonderful experience having a day off where I really focus on doing what I want to do instead of like what needs to be done, like dishes or, you know, any of the other myriad of things that people have to deal with outside of their work. Let me know in the comments if you have ever read The Great Good Thing and what you thought about it. I did see that it's like part of a series. I also saw a book that the author had written which was different. Let me see what it was called. A Bitter Magic, and the lady's like holding a lobster. That sounded really interesting to me, so I'm gonna try to check that out as well. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.